A new year brings more inside the Inferno. Pleased to be joined alongside Kobe Bronstein. I'm Lachlan McTagg, and Kobe, a lot has happened since our last show.
Yeah, 56 days to be exact. Our first show in 2025. Super excited and pumped to be on the desk with you, talking all ASU athletics. It's going to be a fun show, and we'll begin with college football. The season wrapped up on January 20th with Ohio State crowned as the national champions. Kenny Dillingham's squad bowed out in the college football playoff quarterfinals on New Year's Day. But what a remarkable season it was. An epic and historic turnaround within a 2-year span to take a football program that was trending south and turning it into a playoff team.
After a convincing win in the Big 12 championship, ASU was awarded a first-round bye in the CFP and squared off against the Texas Longhorns in the Peach Bowl on New Year's Day in Atlanta. The Longhorns got off to a hot start, but the Sun Devils' senior star running back Cam Scadaboo got things going. Scadaboo made history with 143 rushing yards, 99 receiving yards, and a 42-yard passing touchdown to senior wide receiver Malik McClain. An already epic game turned into an instant classic after Texas missed a field goal to win it in regulation, forcing overtime at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Both teams scored in the first overtime frame, and Texas got the ball and converted in the second overtime. The Cinderella run for ASU ultimately came to an end after redshirt freshman quarterback Sam Leavitt threw an interception to seal it for Texas. When the dust settled, the reaction was nothing but positive from Dillingham and his staff, as they've already made significant additions for next season.
Future has never been brighter for Sun Devil football, with a number of high-profile reinforcements taking their talents to Tempe thanks to the gift that keeps on giving, the transfer portal. So let's look no further than running back Kanye Udo to start things off. The Army West Point transfer rushed for 1,117 yards and 10 touchdowns on an outstanding 6.2 yards per carry. Udo was the starting running back for an Army team that finished 12-2 on the season, highlighted by an American Athletic Championship in their inaugural season in the conference. The native of Mays Landing, New Jersey, registered 5 100-yard rushing performances, and with first-team All-American running back Cam Scadaboo departing for the NFL, a proven back, and Udo will be relied upon to shoulder a significant amount of the carries in the ground attack, along with returning Sun Devil running back Kyson Brown. And through the air, Sam Leavitt has another weapon to throw to, and Fresno State transfer Jalen Moss. I mean, you got the last name Moss, you have to be born to ball. And ball out he has. The sophomore receiver recorded 48 catches for 563 yards and 4 touchdowns after a stellar freshman campaign with north of 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. One of them at Mountain America Stadium, and yes, a 29-0 blowout for the Bulldogs. And we gotta give some love to the kicking game too. ASU upgrades big time with the addition of Jesus Gomez. The former Eastern Michigan Eagle made 80% of his kicks this season, including a season-long 57-yarder at Washington. He hails from Puebla, Mexico, and I'm sure he'll have a lot of fan support being much closer to home. And with that, we'll transition to the court now, where it's been tough sledding for ASU women's basketball, currently on a 7-game losing streak, and its overall record dipping to just 8-14 on the season. Joining me live in studio is Inferno Intel reporter Johan Lopez. Johan, great to be with you. The Sun Devils suffered their 7th road loss of the season on Wednesday, albeit against a ranked opponent in Oklahoma State. But why have they struggled so far in conference play?
Yeah, Kobe. So far in Arizona State's first season in the Big 12 Conference, they have been struggling to keep up with their new opponents, going 2-8 in their first 10 in-conference games. Head coach Natasha Adair was asked to compare the Pac-12 to the Big 12 after the 30-point loss to number 21 West Virginia last week, and she said the Big 12 teams apply more pressure defensively and play a more diverse set of styles compared to the Pac-12, as the Pac-12 tends to be more offensively minded, as she's described it as having more continuity. In that West Virginia blowout loss, the Mountaineers' full-court pressure smothered the Sun Devil offense, while the holding ASU graduate student guard Ty Skinner to only 3 points on the night, which brings me to another factor of why the Maroon and Gold is struggling. Skinner had a rough month of January. The 5'5" guard hit the 20-point mark against Oklahoma State for the first time in over a month. Before that, she was averaging 11 points per game in the 6-game stretch, low considering this is the same player who was on fire to start the season, scoring a career-high 30 points in the season opener and scoring 20 or more points in the first 4 of the 7 games of the season.
All right, so you mentioned Ty Skinner had more than 20 points in the Oklahoma State game. Despite these struggles, she's been doing well in the scoring department. Jalen Brown's been doing really well in terms of guard play, but it wasn't enough for them to get over the hump against Oklahoma State, as well as a lot of the teams in the Big 12. So what are going to be some of the keys down the stretch for the Sun Devils to find their groove?
One key area that ASU needs to improve on is starting games stronger. The Sun Devils have a bad habit of falling behind early, forcing themselves to overcome these deficits. In last week's game, they've trailed by 10 points against the Cowboys and 19 points against the Mountaineers. And at the end of the first quarters, another crucial factor is getting the backcourt back on track. Jaylen Brown, like you just said, has been the only bright spot in the 7-game losing streak, as she's been scoring 20 or more points in the last 7 of the 10 games. While Ty Skinner, despite a really rough stretch, still has the ability to ignite this offense. When these two are in sync together, the ASU team is tough to defend and tough to beat, Kobe.
All right, Johan, thanks for joining us in studio. We'll keep an eye as they continue Big 12 conference play throughout the rest of the season. They turn to BYU at home next, specifically before a clash with Arizona and Tucson a week later.
Sticking with the hardwood, as ASU men's basketball narrowly beat Colorado earlier this week 70-68, and Bobby Hurley's squad was without standout freshman center Jaden Quaintance. Now the Sun Devils return home this weekend to face their in-state rival, the Arizona Wildcats. Adam Cunin joins us in studio to preview the matchup.
Well, Arizona State and Arizona, a tale as old as time, sees another iteration in its storied rivalry take place tomorrow morning at Desert Financial Arena. The Sun Devils welcome a red-hot Wildcat team that has won 10 of their last 11 games and is fresh off a win against number 3 Iowa State. For ASU to come out on top, they will have to play a complete game on both ends of the floor. That being said, let's take a look at some key players to watch heading into Saturday. For the Wildcats, senior guard Caleb Love is the definition of a volume scorer. He takes a lot of shots, but oftentimes finishes as the Wildcats' leading scorer, providing a dynamite scoring ability that can wreck a game quickly. But at times, his streaky shooting can come back to bite Arizona. He shot 30% or worse from the floor with at least 10 attempts in 9 of Arizona's contests. This season, he's averaging a team high of 15.7 points per game and 39% shooting. And keep in mind, in the last 2 ASU home games, the Sun Devils have allowed a player on the opposing team to go for a career high. Keyshawn Hall did it for UCF, and then Curtis Jones did it for Iowa State. Can Love match his career high of 36 points? For the Cats, we shall see. On the other side of the coin, senior guard Adam Miller has provided a steady presence during rocky times for the Sun Devils. As the ultimate team player, Miller sacrificed scoring early in the season to become more of a facilitator and get others involved. However, with the injury bug biting ASU in the worst of ways, he's needed to become a scorer for Bobby Hurley. Over the last 3 games, he averaged over 13.5 points per game, which brought his season total to just over 10 points per game. But Miller also provides leadership and versatility on the defensive end. He may play a crucial role in helping slow down some of the dynamic guards of Arizona tomorrow. Overall, the afternoon tilt stands as another tough test for the Sun Devils, who currently sit on the wrong side of the bubble according to most experts. However, a quad 1 win against their in-state rivals would certainly go a long way in helping ASU strengthen its resume down the stretch. Back to you guys at the desk.
Yeah, really excited for that. Thanks so much, Adam. And we'll transition to the ice now, where the 12th-ranked Sun Devils split a 2-game set last weekend against then number 19 Colorado College. And our own Sammy Califf has more from ringside at Mullet Arena.
The Sun Devils returned home to Tempe on a hot streak, looking to continue their dominance. ASU hosted Colorado College for a 2-game series. The series was split as ASU took the first game while Colorado took the second. ASU head coach Greg Powers learned a lot about Colorado's team over the course of 2 days.
Credit to them for not going away. You know, they played a really, really hard period after going down 4-1. You know, you just got to get through a couple shifts. You go 4-1 and the game's over. And you know, I think they scored less than 10 seconds after our 4th goal, right? And that gave them life, and they played like it. And they were desperate to get their season back on track, and they played like it in the 3rd period, and we didn't.
The last time these two teams met, Colorado College captured the series at home. It was a more competitive series this time around as the Sun Devils scored 8 goals across both games. However, the biggest lesson for the Sun Devils was to continue moving forward and not ease up when they have big leads.
I would just say the biggest thing for us is just to not get comfortable. Like Curtis said, we're going to be in some positions where we're going to have leads a lot of the time this year, so we just can't sit back. We just have to keep going, and yeah, we can't give up at all.
From Tempe for Inferno Intel, I'm Sammy Califf.
Shifting gears into this weekend, men's hockey is on the road once again, this time in Oxford, Ohio, to face the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. The last time these two teams played was back in October of 2023 when the team split a 2-game series in Oxford. That series included a third-period collapse that saw Arizona State blow a 2-goal lead in Game 2. ASU is trying to avoid a split at all costs, as the Redhawks have seen their season take a turn for the worst. They have yet to win a game in conference play and are on a 16-game losing streak. After a split against Colorado College, the Sun Devils are looking to get back to winning ways and keep pace in the NCHC as they currently sit in third place, just 2 points out of Western Michigan for first. From the ice to the diamond, the softball season is kicking off next week, and on Thursday, the Kajikawa Classic will begin the season. The weekend will see ASU play Maryland, Miami, Ohio, Minnesota, and Cal. ASU will be at home for most of February and early March as they prepare for a tough road ahead, with 6 opponents featured in the preseason top 25 poll.
And finally, ASU baseball is gearing up for their season in a few weeks, but they're hosting their second annual spring kickoff weekend with an alumni celebrity softball game on Sunday, February 2nd, including some former studs in the diamond that used to don the maroon and gold.
Yeah, prominent names include 2020 MLB first overall pick Spencer Torkelson, 12-year MLB vet and Tempe native Cole Calhoun, and current athletic director and former ASU catcher Graham Rossini.
How fun is that to have Graham Rossini? And it's not just Sun Devil baseball royalty playing in the game, but former Broncos quarterback Brock Osweiler will be in the house, along with former Texans receiver Jalen Strong. And everyone in the Valley remembers that Hail Mary to beat USC on the road. What a time it was in 2014. He'll be there. And even former UFC fighter and current Bellator heavyweight champion Ryan Bader, who wrestled at ASU from 2002 to 2005. He'll also try to swing for the fences as well.
Well, that'll just about do it for us in studio. It's been an action-packed show, and we appreciate you joining us.
And make sure to stay up to date on our in-depth coverage of ASU athletics on our website, infernointelmedia.com, and on social media at Inferno Intel. For Lachlan McTagg and all our hardworking crew, I'm Kobe Bronstein. The first edition of Inside the Inferno 2025 is in the books. And before we close, just want to say a special shout out to my dad. Happy birthday, January 31st, all the way back in Connecticut. Thanks for tuning in. I love you. And in terms of Inferno Intel, we'll see you next time, everybody.